Hi! This weekend was another sunny one, and I spent another day upgrading my small garden. Today I'll be building some raised garden beds that every beginner can make. And if you wanna know how Murphy came to visit, stick around. Hopefully, in the end, you will have the knowledge and inspiration needed to build your own raised beds. And if you do, like the video and comment what are the dimensions of your raised beds. So let's begin. For the siding of my raised beds, I choose some offcuts of pine trees that I bought from a local lumber mill. Including the transportation to my garden, the total cost amounted to $15, which compared to store-bought lumber it's almost free. Yes, the lumber is not the same size and the thickness also varies, but who cares, right? For me, the important thing is that the siding holds my soil in place. And also, I love the rustic look of it. I started by cutting 8 2-foot long sticks out of 2x2s. I cut them on an angle to be easily hammered into the ground, but later I found out that the best way to cut them is in an arrow shape. This is because if the 2x2s are cut on an angle, they slide aside, instead of just going down when hammered into the ground. This slight modification improved the hammering a lot. For the first two sides of my raised bed, I chose some wood planks that were roughly the same dimensions, so I didn't need to cut them later. Then I attached the sticks to the wood plank. This was simple. First I drilled a pilot hole into the stick to avoid any splits, and I sunk my holes just a little bit with a bigger drill bit. This allowed me to screw my screws in place easily. The screws hold the stick in place when I repeated this process for the other two screws on this side. As you will see later in the video, the force when hammering down the stick is so big that the screws could not hold the wood in place and it fell off. If I would done it again, instead of screws I would use construction nails. Fortunately, I managed to correct the error in the end. Here's a random tip for you. If you hold the drill chuck and drill, it will tighten itself. No need to hand tighten it anymore. When I attached all 4 sticks, it was time to hammer them into the ground. It was a little harder doing it alone, but fortunately, for the second raised bed, my wife came to help me out. So I placed them in place and first hammered them just a little bit to fix the location in which I wanted them. Then I brought the big guns, the sledgehammer. Helping myself with my feet to hold the wood in place, I hammered the stick to the ground, checking to be all leveled. Mine didn't need any corrections, but if yours does, feel free to dig the soil so the wood planks can fit tightly to the raised bed soil. For the other side, Murphy came to visit. Nothing worked and I started to be a little bit tired. First, there was a big stone on the corner. Nothing to worry about. I threw it out with my pickaxe, but this set me back a few minutes. Then the wood plank couldn't stay in place, so I brought another one to hold it. And still it won't stay in place. At least my tools didn't disappoint me. Or did they? When something must go wrong, all goes wrong. When I was hammering with my sledgehammer, the head fell off. And if all of this wasn't enough, when I tried to fix it with my hammer, its head also fell off. I couldn't help myself but smile. Here you can see the stick going sideways, as I mentioned it before. But as I told you, if you cut the stick to be pointy, it will be better. For this corner I didn't have the time or the will to cut another stick, so I just hammered a helping stick into the ground to help guiding the main stick the way I wanted. Now that the two sides were finished, I needed to close the raised bed with the ends. I cut them to length and screwed them in place. The final planks were the easiest to screw in place because I could already see the final product and I was happy and proud of what I've done. And if I could do it, every gardener beginner can. Now you can see the whole process from a different angle and see how faster it goes when you have a helper. If you're asking why I left the sticks going so far out, it's because I'm planning on putting up another row before preparing the raised bed with the compost. But this is the material for another video, so stick around by subscribing and clicking the bell notification. If you would like to follow my story in gardening, click the subscribe button and bell notification, like and share the video. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and I will answer to them. See you next week when I will be planning my seeding.